Hello and welcome to Winter Disco Tabletop Gaming. In this video we're checking out some more stuff from Age of Sigmar. We've got some new Kruleboyz models, technically one, but also two. It is Gobsprakk and his fast Corpse-rippa Vulcha Killabeak. He's described as a shaman, a prophet, and they're saying possibly the most powerful Kruleboyz, and because of that he gets to ride a giant bird, which is really odd. I want to come back to the bird because I have concerns over the bird. Firstly, let's talk about this guy. I don't even really want to talk about him. I want to talk about what he's sitting on. I think it's brilliant. This huge throne made out of skin and flesh and wood and metal and hands and heads and all kinds of stuff hanging off the back. What I'm loving about the new Kruleboyz range is, particularly with the shamans and some of the other characters, they carry so much of their stuff with them. It's like they're ready for anything. Almost like a nomadic tribe of orc. And they have just everything they need, from potions to so many eyes. Oh, I've just noticed that. He's got 6 eyes hanging off the back of his throne. That's just lovely. You can't really make out, but it looks like he does have the skull of a gargant, I guess, or a giant on his back, like the other swamp caller shaman from the Dominion box. I really love that idea. It's such an odd thing, but it seems to work. And it is a little bit lost in this model simply because there's a lot happening at the top end of the model where the orc is standing or sitting, because you don't just have him, you have the big backdrop behind him, which has a lot of detail, but he's also holding up the hand totem staff, I guess we can call it. And it has a lot of stuff hanging off it as well. If there's any negative I will say about the Kruleboyz range, sometimes there's just a little bit too much little like details in there. And I'd say that coming from a perspective of I really love that, but from a visual point, looking at a model, and yes, I'm going to talk about silhouettes again, it's difficult to make out a lot of stuff. It looks very jumbly. So you have the shape here. If you saw the silhouette of this model, you wouldn't even know what was standing there. You wouldn't know that there's a little grot hanging off the back holding some kind of mandrake, I think, a living mandrake. You wouldn't see all that. And that's one of the downsides of this range, and that's pretty much the only criticism that I have. It's really hard to find any critical thought on this range because I just absolutely love it, because I love the detail, but I can see from a design perspective there's a lot going on. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Talking about this model, it is just, it's beautiful. That's all I've got to say. It's beautiful. Very nicely posed, very striking in its pose too. It looks very imposing, not just because you have the giant bird, but they're standing on this old tree, so it's going to stand well above any other model on the gaming table. Now, let's talk about the bird, the vulture. I like the vulture. I like the design of the vulture. To me, it just doesn't fit. When you have the Rippertooth and you've seen some of the other monstrous creatures that are going to come out for the Kruleboyz range, then you have this bird. Yes, a ferocious giant vulture type thing, which is creepy and scary. It doesn't feel very Kruleboyz to me, which is a hard thing to say because we've only just started to see this range and explore this range. I think I'd want to see something a bit more mangy, a bit more scratched up, beat up. Could be a vulture type creature. Like, I love the lower body and the tail, but the wings could be something else. They could have more claws. Probably it's missing a bit of more ferociousness, even though that beak could probably just like rip you up. But you could probably put some claws on the end of its wings. So it has wings, but it's actually arms as well. I think that would be interesting. I just realized he's wearing armor. Yeah, on his chest. He's got a big armor piece. I didn't notice that before. That changes things just a little bit. That changes my idea of it because I originally thought it was just animal. And I think I spoke about this with, I don't know what the model's called, but it's the big one that would be coming out with Kruleboyz riding on top of it. It's like a giant ogre type thing. And I was saying, I wish I had some more armor panels on it. Just some beat up things, ramshackled, like tied on with rope and chains. I think maybe the vulture could do with that. I really think that would help, like on its upper legs. I think that would be super interesting. And maybe if it wasn't so much feathers, they have feathers, but make the wings more arm-like, you could put some armor panels on there too. Just a little bit. It's just like almost like stapled onto him. But we do have to keep going on because this isn't the only way you can build it out. You can build it out in another way, which I think is, from the vulture perspective, I find it far more interesting. You can build it as a killer boss on a Corpse-rippa Vulcha. So essentially the same, but it's a killer boss. Has a smaller throne and killer boss with the awesome mask and the awesome helmet. The vulture's face is slightly different. It has an open mouth that has horns on it, which may be attached. It has like that armor over its face. So I think it might be better if you build the shaman with the killer boss's vulture's face. I think that'd be a bit more interesting. And again, we've got a single kit that you can build in 2 ways, which is what I alluded to before. And I love that. So overall, I really do like this model. I think it's an extremely interesting model. I think the bird vulture could have some work done to it to improve it, to enhance it. That's not to say I don't like it. I really do like it. It just feels a bit weird. The Kruleboyz range is really killing it at the moment. Seriously, I think they're very interesting. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that like button if you've liked it, because it tells YouTube, hey, people like it. Show it to more people, because we're growing. We're starting to pick up some speed. We've had a lot of new subscribers, so hello, welcome. If you're new, if you're a new subscriber, say hi in the comments. And until the next video, I will see you later. Thank you for watching.